What up? Buenos dias. Hello and good morning. This is Andrew Weston, rising in all solar systems, planets, intelligence. I just came from outside. I just basically take brisk walks. I like to look up at the sky, see what's going on through its formations and its cloud formations. And it's circling through its atmosphere right now, through its circuits. And I just saw a dimensional glow, which is basically now I'm seeing pixels. So, which is incredible because you see that. Remember, I told you about those stars, and you look up at the sky and you see the blinkly blink, and they're communicating with you. Well, that's what's happening right now. Is my perception has changed so much through the matrix because I'm at 0 100. Is I've tapped into the code frequencies of its vibrations, and what that means is that I see pixels of colorations, and because our mainframes are made through pixels. If you look through a TV scan, you look up close. I think I said that too in my last video where it states you see dots, yellow, green, blue, red, purple, all that. Those are pixel images of resolution. And basically, because it's all energy, it's all circuits, and that's what you're made of. That's what our body and ecosystems are made of through the systematical systems. So it's pretty fascinating when you're in the matrix and what you see through your perception. Because it's telegraphing waves through its communication devices and its radio signals. So having that connection is amazing. Not only you can put good thoughts in there, but you also can basically talk to plants through their vibration, through your voice and signals, and you can make it grow or you can make it dissipate. I mean, there's two different ways. I mean, your communication and everything has feeling, right? And that feeling is through emotion, and that emotion is through vibration and energy through your energy fields. Once you're connected with your energy fields, you understand everybody else's energy fields through its atmosphere, through its century circle, the yin and the yang. So I'd like to thank all the subscribers and the viewers in the Higher Self channel for love and support. You guys are amazing. The galactic force in and the galactic force out, how everything is within, okay? Like I was talking about the heart, the multi-universal sacred heart. And it's not just the heart and space continuum, like I said before. It's much more than that. It's gathering information through its data processing, and that processing is going through its communication lines and its waving patterns. So the heart is more of a computer center, okay? Because there are computers in space, but it's all made through mind frames, and those mind frames are going through its those cycles of division, and divisions are basically like line formations, but it's actually centering your points, like where you got your northern, you got your southern, you got your western and eastern. So basically, that's what it is. It's 4 center points, line divisions through its atmosphere and the solar surface. So it has its all connection wires too. So it's tremendous force that's going through its circulation and rotation. So probably the reason why I repeat myself is because circulation and rotation are the most important things in space continuum, because everything rotates on an energy flow. And that oxygen through space continuum is on a tremendous force. So it's a magnesium magnetic force field through its genetics, and those genetics that go through DNA, and the DNA goes through its structure, and the structure goes through pixels goes through the atmosphere goes through understanding what kind of DNA. Everybody has different volumes. Everybody's based on different dense alloy, either your metal or your silicone or your antimantium or your gold. Gold is the highest frequency of levels through its harmonics that you can reach. But once you get into the harmonics, you got low, medium, high. So you got to ask yourself where you want to go. How do you get there? Meditate. Okay? Every day meditate. And I probably said that too in my last videos too, because meditation is number one. You can't get further in life if you don't meditate. It's that simple. And it simplifies everything around you through your body and ecosystems. Energy systems, energy sympatical systems. Remember I was telling you about the neon? how it has its line lights. See, I also like to do reviews too, because that brings back everything that all through its data processing. Gives back all that input that we need to know on a day-to-day basis. So you guys don't get too confused. If you get too confused, then everything is awry, and then I have to go back to its basics, and I don't want to do that because I want to move forward. Because the condensed reactor, by the way, the multi-universal heart is a reactor in space continuum. So it's a self-perpetuating generator that surfaces its solar surface, and it goes into its line division through its lasers and its pyramids and all its mechanisms through space continuum. So let's see, where were we at? We were at we've gone through so much so far. We're going through the bodies right now and its frequencies through its harmonics, and I give you harmonics through the golden heart, which is resonating through its atmospheres, through the 4 scepters and the radioactive of its line divisions. So everything's going smoothly right now. Everybody's more informative what's going on, and the synchronizing and the 3-dimensionals are still getting their full connection right now and understanding the research of their chakra formations. I love the fact that you guys ask questions, because I help you out as much as I can. Some questions are like this. I mean, it's tremendous to know, but for me, it's much easier because I'm so advanced through its space continuum and understand its data and its inputs, is to just try to make it easier for me if you could just make it an easier question rather than something like this. Because what happens is there's not just one question, there's 2 or 3 or 4 questions. So what's the most important thing that you want to know? Rather than multiple questions, what do you need right now? Not what you need in the future, because those videos will give you from time to time. So basically, give me questions that are based on things that are happening right now with your body and ecosystems. Don't go too far into the future, because you don't need to know that. Okay, because you're going to get ahead and your energies are going to get subsurface, and it's going to tight wind, and basically it's going to crosswind. And everything is tight wind, crosswind, everything is understanding your DNA structures, understand its circuitry, understanding how it has wind factors, understanding energies, understanding shapes, understanding dimensions. Believe it or not, like I said, you have that dimension inside you. And it's once you open that, it's like Pandora's box. Basically, you open that up, it expands, and the heart flower just opens up and resonates through its energy fields all around its solar systems, planet's intelligence. So the information that I give you is on a day-to-day basis. There's things that I try not to give you to in advance, because why give you something in advance if you're not sure how to understand it? So I basically try to keep the medium, I try to keep the balance, I try to keep it centered. You know, the crosswinds are north, south, west, and east. So in the picture frame, as it's reversed, and the other way, it's in the opposite direction. So that's probably why it's east and west and north and south. But anyway, you get the point. But it's so important that you guys get to know what's going on a day-to-day basis, because we're in a major shift right now through July. Not only that, but you also have the eclipse where the moon separates, which basically, actually there's more than one moon, but when you're into its habitat, because I came back from Lemuria, I go back there once in a while, because that's where I'm born, right? And once you're born, you expand, and you expand to other past lives. But then you keep going and keep going and going until you find out who you really are, and then you stop, and then you evolve, and then you unite, and then the horizons around your energy fields become more clear to you of who you are. So I'm a galactic higher self with 4 other higher selves, so that gives us 5 mediums of energy cells. 5 solarized, polarized, magnetic, magnesium, higher selves, galactic higher selves, in the atmosphere, correcting its multidimensional Earth through its vibration and its balance. So that's what's happening right now. So I use those fives on a day-to-day basis. And I know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly what I'm doing. So they have eyes looking at me, I have eyes looking at them. Like I said, I went outside today, and I like to look at the sky because it's amazing what you can see through the dimensionals of its matrix and its grids. So I'm at 0-100, so basically I've opened another brain frequency through its circuitry, and that circuitry has its connection through its telegraphing wires. Now the telegraphing wires are through other parallels. So I saw a pink cloud, right, with separation of dimension and a parallel through a paradox. It's pretty impressive. And it's amazing to see that yesterday I was self-winding its geometry, diameters. So basically I was using the cloud shifts and I was rotating the clouds. It's pretty powerful what you can do through the matrix, because it's all communication. When you communicate with the clouds, you can communicate with the multi-dimensional Earth and understand its vibration, understand its frequencies through its Earth, its multi-dimensional Earth. Because we're ground formating right now, so we're trying to get that alloy out of us so we can get that light formation and bring that vibration at a balance of frequency through its harmonics, so we can self-wind to the fifth dimension. Not on the fifth dimensional vibration, because it's extremely powerful when it's in space continuum. It has its own energy flow through its oxygen. So that's why I'm getting your bodies and ecosystems ready, so you can reach and platitude to the fifth dimension on that vibration with the multidimensional heart. Okay. Now that golden heart that I have right now in space continuum is a golden reactor. So I'm using those lasers through its pyramids. And I'm using the sacred flame, I'm using the elixir, I'm using the Godheads, and it's full collaboration through relationship and partnership. So like I said, partnership is extremely hard to get, but once you get it, it's amazing to have. And then you can break those codes through its frequencies and its line formations through its matrix grids. Once you go through the electric fences and you understand the prohibitive and you understand its entries and you understand its sky formats. Sky formats are basically through the transformation lights of the third eye. And the third eye has its connection waves, and those connection waves are through the radio signals, and those radio signals go back to the pyramids through the chakra formations and the crown chakra down into the body at its center, energizing all the chakra formations. Now I have 21 chakra formations. Now imagine me opening all of them. It would just, synchronize its atmosphere. So that's why I do one by one. I mean, I can generalize myself and do protection grids around my whole body, but it's not just the body. It's your protection in energy fields, your force fields, your body and ecosystems, your atmosphere, your oxygen, your scepters, your coolants. You have to protect everything when you're in space continuum, because you're in extremely high volumes of force. And now I'm working with the Galactic 5. Let's just call it the Galactic 5. It's much easier because it's too long of a name to describe what the galactic force is. Once you get into the energy circle, the galactic force, it self-involves around its circulation. And then you understand your velocity, then you understand your speed, and then you understand your definitive self, then you understand your higher self. You see where I'm going with this? You get in a better idea. You go from solar to harmonic to galactic. It just keeps going up and up and up and up. So every day, all that information is going into you. And the energy is getting a lot more stronger now because I'm more advanced. So advanced, I understand its atmospheres. I understand its cloud formations. I'm communicating with the galactic solar sun planet and the galactic moon. Now the galactic moon has its, let's get back into the eclipse. So you have the galactic moon going over the galactic solar sun planet, unites its energy field, uprises its force fields through its cycles, covers its wind factors through the shape shifting of its cloud formations. And that's what makes it dark. Okay? That's what it is. That's where the eclipse is. So when you basically, you don't look up and see the sky and look at that because you're going to go blind. The reason you go blind is because the gamma rays are opened. The force fields are open, and that's why there's radiation lights. And that's why people go blind, is because the gamma rays are opened. So it's extremely important that you don't look at the eclipse. I mean, you can under a certain lens, an optic lens that you can through space continuum. But when you're in your galactic higher self, you actually see the vortex of its circulation going this way and going this way, going this way, going that way. Okay, so that's what it is. That's what the galactic solar sun planet looks like. It's not a sphere. Everybody thinks it's a sphere because they see it in a human vessel, but when you're in the matrix, it's a totally different shape. Remember I was telling you about how when you go through communications and you use your meditation through its mind frequencies, how it has its own brain frequencies through its mind conception and its mind telepathy, through the telegraph and waves and the communication devices. Well, all those shapes go into you, and those chakra formations are different shapes. And understanding each shape has a different communication line through its infinity lines. And those infinity lines have full connection through its laser and its pyramids. Okay? And like it says, we use those optic centers, which are 4 septic centers. But right now, we're collecting more information, more patterns, and putting more locations in different dimensions. So big, what's happening now, we're not just fixing the multi-dimensional Earth. We're rebirthing its multi-dimensional realms of definitive, of infinities of infinities. So that's why I need the Galactic 5. The circuitry on its ground formations and its circuitry through its population circuits, which I'm using my communication through human behavior, human instinct, solar texting, mind telepathy, transformation lights, common denominators, understanding diffusing mechanisms. The systematical systems have its full connection through its century circle, and that century circles are going through its electric defenses, and those electric defenses are going through its force fields, and its force fields are going through the automatic, systematic systems. Okay? Now the hydrometer is a wind factor, which is basically, it's a laser through its connection, and that connection alone sets its solar systems. Okay, so it's basically a magnetic device with a laser, and it goes, right? And it goes self around and absorbs its energy source. It breaks its particles and energies, right? It's like 2 atoms coming together and blows up, and then it forms back in through a different circulation, through its rotation and different energy and its oxygen, and it creates a different shape. And then what happens once it goes to a different vibration, so basically what happens is it breaks its frequency, relives its altitude through its velocity and its speed through acceleration, and then it upwinds itself, recreates its own DNA structure, and it goes into a different vibration through a different dimension of its matrix. So I know things are getting a lot more complicated now because my energy cycles are getting more powerful, okay? And like I said, I keep going up and up and up and up. And because I'm through the matrix and I'm breaking its freedom and its codes, everything is through pixels now. So my eye perception through its radioactive is not just magnetic through the transformation lights, but I also have the golden heart, and it's continuous flow, which is an energy conductor. And those energy conductors you use through space continuum, through its planets, intelligent solar systems. Now, this is probably getting more complicated right now because my informative information is more advanced than anything else. Like I said, I'm just a human in a human vessel, but I am in the galactic force, and that's who I am. Once you know who you are, you're extremely powerful. There's no doubt wins of anything or everything that's going on through space continuum. And like I said, space is perfect. Yes, it has its line formations and it has its viruses, and sometimes you have to decode and systematical the systems, change its frequencies and its vibrations, upwinds its surface, change the creator, of its cracks, the craters around its planet. So some planets drop. So basically, I bring back that up. I fix the line formation, change its shapes, change the vibrations through its frequency and its harmonics, uprise its winds through the planets, line formate it through the pyramids and the communication device, through the telegraphing ways and the communication lines. And using the infinity lines to solarize a planet through the infinity. Remember I told you about the infinity has 12 lines and its connection, how it subsurfaces it through its galaxies. And those galaxies upwind its surface, its solar surface. So it's more powerful now to have the galactic 5 rather than just me in octave 1. So that's what's happening right now through its surface. I know you're probably saying, oh my God, this is a lot of information. I said, yes, it is. The reason I'm giving you this is because everybody needs to know what's happening through space continuum, and it's extremely important. Now, this is happening all in one day. And this all this information that comes in, I have to transmit into the electric device, the transmission, because it's an overload for me and it can overload my system. So it's extremely important to do these videos every single day. So now they're going to get more complicated because I've done almost 200 videos. And a lot of people, if you're not sure what's going on, go back to the basics, how I came from human to superhuman to higher self to super higher self. Okay? But it goes way beyond that. That was just the basic intro through transformation, through manifestation. But once you are a galactic force, it's a whole nother realm of definitive space. It's living a whole nother life. And that life I'm living now through my body and ecosystem. So my dream awakening is 100%. I know exactly who I am. I know my mission. I know what I need to do. Help human evolution. Uprise its surface through its vibration and its balance. So, I think that's good. I had a lot to say because there's a lot going in right now with my energies. And, I just want you to know that everything is great, and I'll keep you informed of what's going on. So, this is Andrew Weston, resonating on all solar systems, planets, intelligence. Through the galactic system, the energy core of Galactic 7. Calling out. Adios.